Hello, welcome to my video. I'm Gabby, just Gabby, and there's a few things I want to talk about in this video, so let's get started. But first, I would like to set out an apology as this is a very last minute video. The video I wanted to put here was the villainous video, which I'm still working on. I'm halfway through, not really halfway, but close enough. I already started the recording. And I just gotta finish the rest of the recording, but I'm running out of space on my laptop because besides the blog, I also had this video footages that was meant for my other channel, but because I lost access to it for reasons, I just left it on there. I was like, I'll just use it whenever, but that never came. And what I originally want to talk about is kind of what I'm going to talk about today is the story, or my improvement and development of the story of the characters that you'll see in this video. So instead of waiting, and since this whole channel is supposed to be about my writing, my journey of writing, illustration, and of course my life, apparently, because I put vlogs now, but vlogs and continuation of my improvements and development of my work in writing and so on and so forth, and studying. So this is a relation to that. And so I'm like, all right, perfect. Also, I don't think I mentioned it much in the last time skip video, so now I'm going to mention it here because it is relevant to what I'm writing. So yeah. To start off, the story. Okay, well, to start off, how do I start off? Okay, let's start off the beginning. I originally started developing a story in a way to make a short story based to fit in this very small book I just hoping to chance upon. Is a blank storybook where you could write and draw illustrations and basically make up your own little short story children book. I thought it was a fun, nice little project, and I set out to make a little children book in Japanese because I'm studying Japanese, so why not? And it's a children book, so it doesn't have to be very complicated sentences. The problem is that I have problem developing and making it short, and it got too long, and I just got lost in whatever the freak I was trying to write. So I stopped. But I did enjoy drawing the characters, so I continued drawing the characters. And subsequently, I started drawing these two other characters that I developed based off of challenges. And I feel like, these two go with these two, and now I have a group of 4. And then as I developed the 4, I decided the 4 need a 5th. So now I have 5 characters. And as I developed it, I started developing stories for each character, backstories, and how they will eventually come together. The thing is, as I was developing, I was like, oh, what? I feel like writing that. That's why I feel like writing. But before I write their adventures, I decided to start with one character, being the pivotal character for the time being, backstory. And I started to jump from there. And so I started writing Mad Cal's and Bobby's babies, or Bobby, Bobby, either we can pronounce it either baby or Bobby, backstory. And that's how I came about. And I started writing the first draft, which was just throwing shit at the wall, basically. Kind of. I had an idea where I want to go, but it wasn't exactly sticking. So literally throw shit in the wall and just having it drag down to the floor, leaving a streak mark of terribleness. So anyway, rewrite. But the few parts that I liked, I decided to keep. Instead, I took the characters that I like. I was like, okay, this is a good character to keep. This is the rest of the go. Pivotal with how their connection, their relationship is, and I refix it and rearrange it like that. So there were a few characters, as I said, I kept, and I added. Did I add more? No, I took away more. I took away a few characters. I kept a few characters and I just changed their dynamic a little bit. And so from that I like, okay, this is a little bit more interesting. I like this. Um and from there I wrote the second draft. And then once again I step away to work on other stories, just like when I did the first draft. And as I sat there and let it stew in my brain, um comes the second draft. Well, technically, the second draft outline, because I didn't do. Here's the thing: I never did the outline after I did the first draft. I was just restrained to write a second draft. This is the first time I write an outline after doing this, so this is kind of more of an editing. And a part of the reason why I was like, as I sat in the studio, I was like, I sat and thought about the relationship and connection of how I wanted it. I actually like how it was ending. I'm not very in love with the beginning. Also, I started liking the backstories for some of the characters within the backstory of the character I originally started with. Yes. So I started making sense of it by starting writing a timeline. Granted, when I started doing this, here's the time skip comes in. When I started writing this, um, when I wrote the second draft, I wrote it in out of order. So you can say this is a bit of a time skip is going to be played out in here. Series. Not only that, I wanted to do more of a time skip with the character's age, so I do plan to do more time skips. I didn't do it much in the second draft. I didn't try. That's why I was trying to do in the first draft, and then I just took that straight out in the second draft because I just keep dragging on. I'm like, yeah, I'm just whittling at this point. So now in the third draft, I gotta figure out a way to cleverly add in time skips to show the character is aging and grown up, as well as applying the relationship connection as well as the plot of the story, as well as this old multi interconnected connection between the parents, the community, and the children. So yeah, it's fun. That's fun, and also it made me change again, switch up the characters' dynamics and who the connection, how they're connected. Once again, I changed it up and made it more tighter and cleaner and understanding of why it happens the way it is and how they got from point A to point B is much clearer, especially when you tie in the backstories of the other characters. It makes much more sense. And that's how I am now going to write the third draft. Granted, as the first draft would be well or good, I don't know, but I'm hoping that I landed on the third draft and just put it out and improve the next story. As now I wanted to eventually start writing Henrietta's backstory. So I haven't started writing the third draft yet, but that's another thing I plan doing. Maybe instead of working on, now that I finished the villainess, I could start working on that. But yeah, so wow, this is a much shorter video than I thought it would be. Trying to drag it out a little bit just to get into the 10-minute mark. What else did I left out to talk about? What else I developed is again the backstory, doing the timeline, and after I did the timeline, I figure out how each sequence will fit within the story by chapter. Like I want this sequence to be in chapter 1, this sequence to be in chapter 2, and this sequence to be in chapter, and so on and so forth. You get it. It's not like just one sequence per chapter, by the way. I picked 2 or 3 sequences that fit together within these group, like timeline. This part of the timeline from A to 1 to 4 will be in chapter 1, and then so on and so forth, like that. So, and I still want to stick to, originally I thought I was going to maybe increase it to more than 10, but I think I'm going to stick to the 10 chapters, but the amount of pages will increase or decrease depending on how much needs to be written or included or talked about, conveyed within the chapter. That's the better way, it's conveyed within the chapter. I'm thinking what else I need to add in to talk about. I feel like there's something I'm missing. Oh, developing this is something I also mentioned in very first video with the Castle of Good and Evil. not the castle, the School of Good and Evil. That would be a good, interesting story. The Castle of Good and Evil, but no, at least in concept. The School of Good and Evil is also and cause what's his name again? Fudge nuts. I forgot the name of the YouTuber. Not Cosmonaut. Um, Rogue. I feel like something Rogue. If I remember his name, I will try to randomly put it somewhere in this video, or just look it up and I'll just randomly put it in the video. But he was talking about this other writer. He was reading this other author. He was reading this book. I'm saying other author. Like I haven't yet officially published anything yet. I'm a writer. Whatever. Anyway, does that count? I don't know. Anyway, moving on. This is not the important thing. The important thing is that he read the book after the very first one, and the one thing that he had a biggest grief on is that she did not write descriptions at all about her settings, and that makes me realize that there are parts, not the whole book, technically story, not through the whole story. I didn't, but parts of the story, especially the beginning, I pretty much left out. Made me realize that I also left out a lot of descriptions of the setting, mostly because I have no idea how the setting looks like. I just know it was like woodsy. Very vague, I know. That's all I got. And I'm like, all right, maybe I should take time to also develop more of the location of the story enough where I can visualize it and explain it within words, using words. As I'm not I'm still drawing parts of it, but I'm not drawing everything out, so it still would be good to have some kind of vocabulary to define and give some kind of description to where these characters are set in. The reason why I also avoid giving out too much settings is because I don't want to make to look like too much of a natural place in the world, because it's supposed to take place in the real world, kind of theoretically, but I don't want to actually give it a natural place in this real world. Like you could pinpoint it on a map. I want it to be vague enough, but specific enough where you can picture it. So yeah, I don't think that's a hard sell, but I'm just afraid I lean too much into one or the other territory. Is my problem, especially since I'm not that confident. So yeah. And then yeah, anything else that I wanted to touch upon? Might as well in this video. Also character. Not all the characters, unlike only Mikal and Baby, is fully developed in terms of how they look. Although that's another thing I feel like I left out. I barely describe how any of the characters look. More inspiration from. By the way, the reason why I started doing the timeline stuff is also, well, personally, I originally wanted to do that, but another inspiration was either the Neil Gaiman video or their Future Me video when they was talking about, or somebody's video talking about writing. Either way, it's talking about voices of the characters, voices of the narrator, and within stories, and that made me give me thoughts how the voice in my story should be, and whose voice should it be. I hopefully I execute it properly. Hopefully it will be like a third point narrative, but within the character's voice, and by characters I mean multiple characters, so which is why I say third point view, but character's voice. Will I accomplish that? That is yet to be seen. But yeah, that's about it. Now that I got past the 10-minute points, originally I just wanted to do 10. I'm going to end this video here. I think I touched upon everything I need to touch upon within this video about my story, about the book I'm working on, about this one very specific one that doesn't have a title yet, fortunately. But anyway, thank you for watching if you got this far. I guess if you want to like this video, like it. If you want to subscribe, subscribe. If you want to ring the notification, go ahead. This is your choice. Either way, thanks for watching. Until next time. Bye.